Welcome. I'm Terry Myers with RV1 Superstores. I'm excited to show you the all-new Entegra Anthem today. We're going to jump right into the front. There's so much to talk about with this motorhome. This front cap is all new, redesigned. You've got a huge 120-inch windshield. The most important thing when you're driving down the road is to make sure that you can see everything. You invested in a luxury motorhome. 120 inches, it's the biggest in the industry. There's no windshield out there that's larger than this. It's got a great curve. You don't lose anything in this corner here. We don't have that giant pillar that you'll see in so many other motorhomes. It's not squared off and blocked off. It's a great looking cap, all highlighted. A little hard to see right now, but you've got accent lights around this. It's all lit up. Your Entegra lights up. Just a great looking coach on the front. People recognize it when you drive down the road. I hear it all the time. People say, oh, you can spot the Entegra when it's coming down the highway because it's got a recognizable front cap on it. So I want to make sure we talk about that. I want to make sure that you notice these blind spot monitoring here. You've got 3 of these on each side of the coach. This is a huge deal. This lets you know when you're driving down the road if there's something on to the right or to the left. It's going to notify you on your new digital dash. It's also going to notify you in your mirrors. You're going to have a marker in that mirror that lets you know that there's something in that blind spot that you might be missing. This could save countless accidents, bumps, scrapes, bruises. Just a huge, huge benefit with that. We talk about Entegra and we always talk about it's the quietest riding, best handling coach on the road today, period. It starts with a foundation. You're built on a Spartan chassis. It's standard on this coach. There's no other manufacturer that makes a Spartan chassis standard at this level. It has got a 450 horsepower engine on it. That's a Cummins L9 motor. It's 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. As you look at the slides, notice that they're a flush mount slide. When we put these in later, you'll kind of see how that goes, but you don't have that big flange hanging over the edge of the slides, which means when you put this slide in, what Entegra has to make sure that they do is they build this with zero tolerance, very, very limited tolerance on this. So you can put this in and it's a clean look going down the road. You're not having to hide all the imperfections behind this big flange hanging over like you see on a travel trailer or a gas coach or something of lesser value. The other thing you're going to notice is that we've got 315 Michelin tires on this coach. Entegra uses exclusively Michelin tires. It's the best tire on the road. It's what everybody wants on this coach. So know that that's part of that quietest riding, best handling coach. Michelin tires, Spartan chassis, 450 horsepower Cummins. The next part of that is how we build our walls. When Entegra builds the walls, they do what's called a residential style, or you'll hear the word hung wall construction. It's not a vacuum bonded laminated wall. Most manufacturers are building with a vacuum bonded laminated wall. That's the same way you build a travel trailer. Not a bad way to build a coach, just not the best way. With Entegra, they hang these walls, so it's a better system. It lets you get a cleaner look, and when you don't laminate, nothing delaminates. So you don't go down the road seeing those big bubbles down the side of the coach that you'll see in other manufacturers. 10 years from now, this coach will look exactly like it looks today, which is just amazing. Speaking of looks, you'll notice the paint job on this coach. Entegra uses a paint called Sickens paint. That paint has an elasticity built into it. It lets the paint shrink and expand with the coach because fiberglass shrinks and expands. So does the paint. With that, you don't get that spider cracking, you don't get that dulled out look in 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 years. Your coach will look brand new in 15 years. That's what you want, is something that looks good all the time, and you get that with an Entegra coach. I want to show you a couple of other things outside. One of the big things, very, very few options on an Entegra. One of them is the freezer that we put in. We typically order that on every coach that comes in. It's on a slide out tray. It comes out, it's huge. They enlarged that a little while ago, moved it to this front compartment, made it super easy to get to and to use. The next thing that I'm going to show you is right here in the middle of the coach is that X brace. There's a minimum of 10 of those X's in this motorhome. What that does is it takes the twist and the flex out of the coach. You've seen scaffolding. Scaffolding will lift, thousands and thousands of pounds. Well, it's that X in the scaffolding that does that. It takes the twist and the flex out. It gives it its strength. So now you're forcing the suspension of the coach to do the work. Speaking of suspension, this coach has an independent front suspension on it. You're running 60 millimeter Bilstein shocks on the front that takes out that bounce up front. It's the type of shock that when you use it, it doesn't wear down and lose its viscosity over the day. It's going to work all day long. So after 500 miles, it works as well as it did at 0 miles, rather than starting to lose that ability to absorb those bounces and stuff. So just makes, again, as part of that, what makes the coach the quietest riding, best handling coach on the road. You're actually going to hear me say that a lot today, so don't get bored with it. The slide tray is going to be standard equipment. It's not going to be an option. Again, Entegra doesn't have very many options at all. There's only a few options on this coach. Everything that we do is standard equipment. That just means that when you get ready to trade your coach in, it's worth more money. That's a huge, huge benefit to you. Let's close that up. More storage here. It's going to go all the way across. And then this is going to be your battery disconnects. These are going to be marine grade battery disconnects that I can shut down the coach with. They're going to let me shut off the inverters to make sure you don't get any of that parasitic drain on the coach. You lose, rather than just using that little 12-volt switch at the door, now you can use these. That shuts everything down in the coach. These are the other two blind spot monitors on this side. So you've got 3 that encapsulate the entire side of the coach. It'll go out to the front and out to the rear, so you're not missing anything when you're changing lanes or when you're in a parking lot or in a gas station, where it gets a little bit tricky at. One of the great things about being built on a Spartan chassis is that every Spartan chassis is going to open up and it's going to be identical right here. You're going to be able to see everything in the coach that you need to get to. Your DEF tank is going to be here. You're also going to have a DEF fill on the other side of the coach. You're going to have your crank batteries here. Speaking of batteries, you do have 4 L16 batteries on this. Those are big glass mat batteries. There's no maintenance to do on those. They're behind that wall. They sit in the center of the coach. So that takes care of the weight issue. You take that weight off the front of the coach and put it right in the center where you've got the most capacity at. I'm going to open this rear door. One of the things that Entegra has done, if you're a little short girl like me, it makes getting into this back of the coach challenging. Entegra has put an electric lift gate on this. Makes it super easy. Even I can do it. So we're going to get that opened up. There is a manual override if anything ever does happen, so you do have that to take care of it. Again, make sure you're taking a look at the lights and the cap on this. This coach is so advanced. It looks like something that, you know, it's modern, it's unique. There's nothing else out there that looks like this. It's not copied from some other brand. It's a high-end, unique-looking coach that just kind of pops when you're going down the road. Let somebody know that you've got an Entegra, and that's a big deal. Take a look at the motor. We talked about that a little bit up front. L9, 450 horsepower Cummins, 1,250 foot-pounds of torque. Coming around to this side, you've got a side mount radiator, which is exactly what you would expect in a high-end luxury diesel motorhome like this. That just means that it's going to handle those hills better. It's not going to have to decelerate as much on those hills. Really what I'm saying is you're going to get to the top of the hill faster than the guy next to you with a rear mount radiator. And let's face it, that's what's really important. We want to be there first, right? Come on up. This is the opposite side for your DEF fuel. So now when you're filling up at the truck stop, it's easier to fill. Your DEF fuel is right on this side of the coach. Again, your blind spot monitoring system is here. Flush mount slides all the way around. This, nobody wants to talk about this, but this is perhaps the coolest thing going on an Entegra. It is a macerator, TurboMaster SantaCon system. This hose will stretch out 21 feet. It'll pump uphill, and in 50 seconds, you are all done with the dirtiest job in the motorhome, right? I mean, let's face it, nobody wants to do it. But with this, it's better. They've put a nylon sleeve on here. That means that it's gonna not get those little pinholes. You don't get those little leaks. It's just gonna work better for longer like that. It's just gonna stay cleaner, easier to handle. I'm gonna leave that right there. Again, this is the work side of the coach. So this is where everything that's going to happen takes place at. So you've got a whole house water filtration system. You've got a second water filter for the kitchen. You've got a power water hose on this. This compartment is where your aqua hot is. We were looking at the basement earlier. And what I didn't mention is that the basement is entirely heated. So it's heated using the AquaHot system. The AquaHot's going to also heat the coach, it's going to heat the floor, and it's going to heat the water. So now if you want to take a 30-minute shower, you can definitely do that. No water heaters. You don't have any propane on board this coach. It's a total electric system. The AquaHot will run off of the electric side or off of the diesel side. So you've got two ways to operate that system. And a power cord, 50-amp power cord. It's going to be power in. It's easy to use. One of the things that Entegra does is they put a boot here. You'll see a lot of motorhomes that are supposed to be at this level that have a hole in the floor that you like pop the lid up and you like feed the hose out through or the cord out through. That's kind of useless. That allows critters to get in there. It allows bugs to get in there. This will allow the hose to go into the power cord to go into this boot. Nothing's getting through that. You're not letting any air in there. It just makes it a whole lot cleaner. Okay, so now we're inside the new Entegra Anthem. Amazing coach. It's absolutely gorgeous in here. Well, some of the things that Entegra does, all solid wood cabinetry. It's all solid cherry. This color is called natural cherry on the cabinetry. The furniture is called russet this year for this interior color. The tile, if you take a look at the tile on the floor, it's all hand laid by Entegra. Some of the things that they do different, when we talk about the fact that Entegra is the quietest riding, best handling coach on the road, one of the ways that they get there is with the tile. So when they lay their tile, every other manufacturer will come in and lay it front to back and then set everything down on top of it. What Entegra does is they'll put things like this wall in first, and then they'll tile up to it. A little more labor intensive, requires a little more work, but what you don't get is this squeak in 6 months or a year where that bond has broken, because what happens is like likes like, which means that tile's going to not marry well to wood. So wood marries wood. So because our floors are a wood box, it's a 5-inch thick wood box with plywood on the top, plywood on the bottom, 2x4s every 16 inches on center or less inside that box, and then insulation, overcut, overstuffed batting fiberglass insulation in there, along with thermal foil insulation. We lay that tile down on top of that. This wall marries to that wood floor. You get a better bond. It just seals better. It doesn't come apart, doesn't break apart. You don't get that squeaking in, like I said, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, whenever it starts to do it. So that's one of the ways that we get to be the quietest riding coach on the road. Some of the things, when you look around the inside of the coach, you see the appliances. You notice things like we've got all Samsung televisions inside here. In the living room, that's a 4K ultra high def television. It's a Bose sound bar. That's a name that you recognize. Bose is notorious for making the best sound systems in the world. So you've got Bose sound bars. You've got wireless infinity speakers behind that. You've got a Bose sound bar in the bedroom that we'll see shortly. You've got a Bose sound bar outside with a TV. All your TVs are Samsungs. That's the most recognized name in the TV industry, is a Samsung television. It's the top selling brand out there. That's why Entegra uses those recognized residential brands in their builds. Big 40-inch fireplace. That looks great. All Korean style countertops throughout the coach. Induction cooktop. Great cabinets. I mean, look at the space. By the way, this floor plan is called a 42 DEQ, just in case you were wondering which one it is. I love these. I love these because I'm short. These were made for short people. I may not be able to reach what's in the back, but I can at least figure out if I need what's in the back and get somebody else to get it for me. But this makes it a whole lot easier to get to. So I've got huge rollout cabinets, tons of cabinet space. This pulls out to give you some more counter space. Again, massive drawer space. These are 75-pound capacity drawers. I mean, I'm moving the whole thing. I'm not tearing up the drawer. It all works the way that it's supposed to work. One of the new things on Entegra's done is this down here. I love this. Huge cabinet with your trash can right there. It's got all of our display stuff in it when we set this up for later. But you've got a huge trash can here. So when you open this and this is closed, you don't have to pull that whole thing out anymore. You've got a little chute here just to drop the trash and it goes right in the trash can. It's little things. You've got big giant sink covers. You've got two-sided stainless steel sink. Let me open this other side. Yeah, there's nothing in that one. So two-sided stainless steel sink. Induction cooktop, residential convection whirlpool microwave. But suddenly I can't remember how to operate. Big, huge microwave. Big residential Whirlpool refrigerator. Again, we're using like brands. We use the same brands throughout. The Whirlpool microwave, the Whirlpool microwave, the Whirlpool refrigerator, induction cooktop, dishwasher. I love the dishwasher. Just you eliminated somebody's job there. I'm not sure whose, but somebody got without a job with that. And remember, it's standard equipment with the dishwasher. And the fireplace is standard equipment. It's not something you're having to go through a 40-page checklist and see if you want or add to it. It's all going to come with it, which is going to make your coach worth more when you get ready to trade it in or sell it. I want to spend just a few minutes talking about the VegaTouch system on this coach. It's all new, redesigned. It's very intuitive. It's super easy to use. This is going to control essentially everything in the motorhome. It's going to control the shades, the lights, the generator, the auto gen start system that you've got on board, the inverters. You're running 3,000 watt inverters. This gives you control of all of that. I think it's going to be a little difficult to see on camera, but I can control the lights from here. I can control the shades. Everything works right off of this system. I'm going to put it in basic mode really quick and just turn the back lights off so you can kind of see how that works. And that shuts down the bedroom with just one touch. And then I just touch it to turn it back on. So super, super easy. This is the 44B floor plan. We'll get more into that online. I've got some videos that I can attach to this and you can see just of this system alone. But it works everything in the coach. And you can download the app. The great thing about it is you can download the app to your phone or your iPad. So when you are sitting outside and you want to run the awnings out, you can control that. You've also got 4G LTE in this coach. So I can make this wireless. What does that mean? It means if you have got your coach in storage and you're going to go pick it up later on today or tomorrow because you're going to take a trip, but you want to make sure that the air conditioning is on and the coach is cooled off, you can go into your app on your phone. As long as your coach has wireless on board, you go into your app on your phone, you turn the generator on, you turn the air conditioners on, you turn on a couple of lights to make it ready for you when you get there. You can do this from 100 miles away or 1,000 miles away. It works no matter where as long as you've got Wi-Fi. Two things that you can't do with that, I will tell you this, you can't put the slides out and you can't put the awnings out. That's just to protect you and your coach in case anybody's parked next to you and you can't see it. So great, great feature with this coach that you get those apps to download and the Wi-Fi. This is a bath and a half floor plan. This is going to be your half bath here. Nice roomy half bathroom on this floor plan. I love that. And husbands, that usually becomes your bathroom, sorry. This is a huge pantry. Probably one of my most favorite things about this coach and this floor plan is this pantry. If you're going to spend any time in this coach, you get a ton of room with this floor plan. Master suite, king size bed. Again, it's all tiled, all heated floors throughout the coach, all solid wood. I mean, look at this door. This is just one of those things where you can see the quality. That is a heavy real wood door. When it closes, you close out the rest of the world. I mean, it's silent in here. I can stop talking loud because I tend to talk loud, but I can drop my voice and you can still hear me. There's no noise in this coach. And we've got the air conditioners on and everything, so it's really, really quiet. One of the things that I want to make sure that we talk about, you don't see any of those on a lot of coaches. If you've been in other brands and stuff, you'll see these straps that lock down or these buttons that you have to push to lock a door in place. With Entegra, there's a plunger under this door. What that plunger does is it comes up and it locks this door in place when you release the park brake on it. So that means it's not going to bang around. So if it's open or closed, it's locked. But it's a real door. Again, with a full-length mirror on this side, I'll let Ryan come in here and get some shots of that. I do want to show you the shower. One of the things that Entegra does is that is a true hand-laid ceramic tile shower with a teak wood seat. It's going to come standard with a washer dryer already built right in. Okay, so I want to talk a few minutes about this dash. This is brand new for Entegra. It is absolutely amazing. It's a full 15-inch digital dash. It's the largest in the RV industry. All of your information is on here. I spoke about the blind spot monitoring. You'll see those in the corners now if something's on that side. You're going to see your RPMs and your miles per hour right in the middle. One of the great things that Entegra has done is they've added the tire pressure monitoring system this year. So with this, I'm going to turn a little knob over here that may be a little bit hard to see, but I can read all of my tire pressures now. It's going to tell me exactly what they are. It'll take a second for that last one to come up, but all of my tire pressures will show up down here. I've got access to this information now without having to install it on the coach. So there's no aftermarket expense where you're having to add that now. The other thing that this will do is your navigation system, which is a Rand McNally GPS system. This is kind of cool. I'm gonna release the park brake on this, and then I'm going to bring that GPS into the center of this screen. So now I can see my GPS without having to look over here. I can still broadcast my GPS up to the main television up front, so whoever's sitting in the passenger seat is able to see that and help, but now it's right in front of me. So how big of a deal is it that I'm no longer having to turn to look to see that GPS? It's right in front of me. So when I'm driving in city conditions or crazy traffic conditions, it's just so much safer this way. I love that Entegra has installed this on their coaches. It's just amazing. I think it's the best thing that's been done in a very long time in the RV industry. It only works when your coach is, where the park brake has been released. So just to recap, a couple of things that I think are super important on this coach. 2-year warranty front to back. Everything is under warranty for 2 full years from the factory. 5-year structural warranty on the coach from Entegra. Nobody else does that. You've also got a Spartan chassis underneath you. That's the Rolls-Royce of chassis. You've got an L9 450 horsepower Cummins diesel motor. Again, that is a beast of a motor. I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. It's been my pleasure. My name is Terry Myers, RV1 Superstores. You can always find us online at rv1.com, or you can call us. Thank you.